Oh, no, no nos moverán como un árbol firme junto al río, no nos moverán. Unidos en la lucha no nos moverán, unidos en la lucha no nos moverán como un árbol firme junto al río, no nos moverán, no, no, no nos moverán, no, no, no nos moverán como un árbol firme junto al río, no nos moverán, no nos moverán.
Come into our house of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. We welcome the certain and the seeking, the long timers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the heart of our homes. Good morning to all of you here, and good morning to everyone on the live stream. This morning, we're honored to welcome Reverend Ann Felton Hines, our guest preacher. Reverend Hines got her start in Unitarian Universalism here at Throop back in 1968. After being launched by this congregation into her journey towards ministry, she has served UU congregations in Southern California since 1984. Upon retiring in 2014, Emerson UU Church granted her Minister Emerita status, and since then she has served congregations in a variety of roles. She is currently president of the San Fernando Valley chapter of the ACLU, participates in small ways to protect our democracy, and volunteers weekly as a pianist at Kaiser Medical Center in Woodland Hills. Welcome, Reverend Ann. After the service, if you're interested in learning more about Throop or becoming a member, our greeters will be in the back of the sanctuary to answer your questions and invite you to join us for coffee. Each one of us is a light in the world. The flame from our chalice symbolizes and reflects that light.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light our chalice with a flame from our candles of hope and witness. We light this chalice for what is divided in us and for the light that asks nothing except that we turn toward it. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop is the unceded land of the Gabrielino Tongva Band of Mission Indian people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into dismantling systems of supremacies and oppressions. We light a third candle, symbolizing our watershed, the Arroyo Seco. May their waters continue to nourish life in our communities. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts. Please rise as your body and spirit allow for our opening hymn.
This is number 121 in the Gray Hymnal, and you'll note we tend to sing a slightly different set of lyrics by the time we get to page 2 on the chorus. We'll be singing, "Come Build a Land Where People United, Anointed by God." We'll build a land where we build up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come build a land where people united, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn. Restore them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come build a land where people united, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Now, everybody, it's time to greet your neighbor and say hello.
I'm still learning.
You're the best. I know, right?
Hey, how's it going, Ara? It's good. How are you? Pretty good, actually. Let's see if we can rally the troops. We'll will build a land, building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll build a land of people so bold. Come build a land where people united, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. Come build a land where the mantles of praises resound from spirits once faint and once weak, where the oaks of righteousness stand, her people. Oh, come build a land, thy people we seek. Come build a land where people united, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever. Come build a land. Come build a land where people united, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
The struggle inside us doesn't stay inside us. How we hold fear and love shows up in how we hold the earth. What we take, what we protect, and what we're willing to change. So we widen the circle now, past ourselves. Please join me in our Throop promise to our planet, found in your orders of worship. As members of the family
of living beings
on earth, we are guided by the Unitarian Universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, eyes nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect Earth's sacred and abundant gifts, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and the planet it sits on. Our wisdom from our Unitarian Universalist tradition this morning comes from Reverend Rebecca Parker, a Universalist minister and theologian. She writes about choice, not whether the world will bless us, but whether we will choose to bless the world, even when we have every reason not to. Listen for where that choice lives in you. This is choosing to bless the world. Your gifts, whatever you discover them to be, can be used to bless or curse the world. The mind's power, the strength of the hands, the reaches of the heart, the gift of speaking, listening, imagining, seeing, waiting. Any of these can serve to feed the hungry, bind up wounds, welcome the stranger, praise what is sacred, do the work of justice, or offer love. Any of these can draw down the prison door, hoard bread, abandon the poor, obscure what is holy, comply with injustice, or withhold love. You must answer this question: what will you do with your gifts? Choose to bless the world. Now is the time in our service when we sing our kiddos off to Kids Dig In. You can find our song lyrics in the order of service.
For you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and you shall go out in joy, for you shall go out in joy, and come back in peace, and come back in peace. Blessed be.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is so lovely to be invited back here again to speak and be with you after all these years, to come to the church where I became a Unitarian Universalist. Old Dr. Harmon Gare was the minister then. And he was a lovely person, just like Reverend Tara, who I adore. I offer you these words by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world, and I am free.
The lone wild bird in lofty flight is still with thee, nor leaves thy sight. And I am thine, I rest in thee. Great Spirit, come and rest in me. The ends of earth are in thy hand, the seas dark, deep, and far off land, and I am thine, I rest in thee. Great Spirit, come and rest in me. The lone wild bird in lofty flight is still with thee, nor leaves thy side. And I am thine, I rest in thee. Great Spirit, come and rest in me.
This church is our church. We support it through our gifts of time, our gifts of talent, and our gifts of treasure. We pause each week in worship for a moment of financial generosity and ask you to make a donation to Throop. You can give online. The directions are in the order of worship. Or place your gift in the offering plate. If you are a first-time visitor, please let the offering plate pass you by. Thank you for supporting our life together. The offering will now be greatly received.
The following is a musical meditation on a saying by the medieval Catholic anchoress named Julian of Norwich, famous for her takes on human suffering, her own personal struggles with health issues and disability, and how to hold all of these at peace and hold others in peace as well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? Julian, do you not know about pain? Julian, do you not know about hunger? Julian, do you not know about shame? And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about loneliness? Julian, do you not know of disease? Julian, do you not know about cruelty? Julian, it's all too much, it's brought me to my knees. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about sorrow. No one does not know about pain. No one does not know about hunger. No one does not know about shame. But she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about loneliness. No one does not know about disease. No one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much, it's brought me to my knees. And I heard, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, dear one, do you not know about tenderness? Dear one, do you not know about friends? Dear one, do you not know the Spirit? Dear one, do you not know it's only love that never ends?
In a spirit of gratitude, we lift up our thanks to those supporting our worship today. Spencer, our live stream operator, David, our lay reader, Faith with the children's program, Taryn and Arav, our greeters and ushers. Special shout out to Tom, our coffee and conversation host, who made the run this morning to I Declare for our pastries for social hour. Malcolm and the choir on music, Jessica for administrative support, Reverend Ann for sharing her wisdom with us today. All of you, huge thank you. As we pause in recognition for all the ways we support our Throop community life, say with me the words in the order of service. With gratitude for the ministries of the church that holds us and emboldens us to love the world, we bless our offering and the many gifts we share. We can now join together in our centering hymn, Spirit of Life, number 123, 123.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
I want to add to the list of thank yous and gratitudes my gratitude to Sean. Though I didn't know I was supposed to also bring wisdom today. That's taken me a little by surprise, but the pastoral prayer I offer you this morning is by 13th century historian of the religious historian Eusebius. May I be no one's enemy, and may I be the friend of that which is eternal and abides. May I wish for every person's happiness and envy none. May I never rejoice in the ill fortune of one who has wronged me. May I, to the extent of my power, give needful help to all who are in want. May I never fail a friend. May I respect myself. May I always keep tame that which rages within me. May I accustom myself to be gentle and never be angry with others because of circumstances. May I know good people and follow in their footsteps. Let us enter now a moment of prayerful silence. Amen. And now I invite you to join in singing hymn number 170, We Are a Gentle, Angry People.
We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a justice-seeking people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Thank you, choir, for leading us in the hymns. I am going to just assume that Eusebius wrote that prayer as aspirational, perhaps knowing how often he failed to live up to most of it. I don't know the man, didn't know the man, but I assume he was human and like us. Because I don't know about you, but I've been feeling the weight of anger growing inside of me for way too long now. I think it started, this level of it, in 2016 when the first woman to get close to becoming president of our country lost to a man who, in my not so humble opinion, had not one qualification for the job and no signs of human decency. Gee, I thought so many of you would disagree with that now. And then, inexplicably, 8 years later, that same man was able to win the presidency again, and again against a woman. He had not become any more qualified or decent in the time since his first term, so I have to wonder how much his victories were the results of running against women. His only loss, which of course he's never accepted, was against a man. In the past year and a half, my anger has only been magnified by fear as I've watched our democracy being chipped away bit by bit. Perhaps you have felt some of the same. Hardly a day goes by where we don't hear news of some new horrible action the president has taken. With his deportations of thousands of Black and brown immigrants, most of whom are not the worst of the worst, his outrageous investigations of his opponents, his undermining of our elections, and on, well, I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty much in a constant state of both rage and terror. Perhaps you have been experiencing some of that too. At a meeting a few months ago at one of my local indivisible groups, one of our members facilitated a circle for sharing our feelings and reflections about the current state of our country. One question she asked was, "What would you like to see as we move forward?" And one by one, each person in the circle would take the talking stick and say that they wanted to have honest conversations with those opposed to our resistance movement. They wanted to hear why those folks supported the president. They wanted to hear why they would support someone like him. They wanted to hear the stories of these people and to share our own. When it came time for me to speak, I said I wasn't really feeling as generous as they were. I used to say I wanted those kinds of conversations, I told the group, but I don't any longer. I really couldn't care less about why people support such a cruel and unkind human being, someone who is overtly racist, homophobic, and misogynistic. I told them I feel bad about this. I know as a minister I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. And truth be told, I do not like feeling this way. I was raised on the teachings of Jesus that we are to love those who persecute us, not hate them. It is that teaching of Jesus and our first Unitarian Universalist principle that calls us to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person, not just those with whom we agree, that I am supposed to be modeling as a minister. Oh, if you could hear me yell at my television and some of the words I use while watching the news, you would not think I was modeling our UU principles very well at all. There is a Native American story about a grandfather who is walking with his young grandson in the woods. After a period of silence, the old man says to the child, "Sometimes I feel as if there are two wolves fighting inside of me. One of them is full of anger, violence, fear, and vengeance. The other is full of love, compassion, forgiveness, and joy. These two wolves lives inside of everyone," he goes on, "even you, my grandson." The boy looks up at his grandfather. "Which of the wolves win the fight?" he asks. And the old man answers, "The one we feed." I know that wolf of anger all too well, and the desire to feed it, especially when experiencing deep hurt or fear. My father once told me that as a child, I had a militant anger. I was shocked to hear this, not because I was unaware by then of my childhood anger. I'd been through lots of therapy by then, but because I didn't know that anyone else was aware of it. If my father could see me today, he might think that that militant anger of mine had never gone away, though I also suspect he'd be right there with me. As a former journalist, my father would be outraged by the president's treatment of journalists who challenge him and expose his lies. But the problem with feeding the wolf of anger is that it requires us to disconnect ourselves from those at whom we are so angry, to see them as something other than us. That is particularly easy to do with people with whom we have no relationship, who we see only on our TV screens or when they're driving a car with bumper stickers we don't like. It's easy to forget their inherent worth and dignity. But I remember when I was a child, my mother taught me to always try to imagine what it was like to be the person with whom I was angry, to walk around in their skin so I could perhaps understand them better and begin to feel some compassion for them. It was a way to stop feeding the wolf of anger and to begin feeding the wolf of compassion instead. It was a way to acknowledge my connection to everyone, even those I want to see as completely other than myself, when they are not. Is this not what is meant by affirming the inherent worth and dignity of each person, no matter who that person is? Is it not another way of saying that we affirm that the light of God, of the Holy Spirit, of life and love, dwells within each person, no matter how covered over it is with hatred and fear? Indeed, a year ago, the delegates at our UUA General Assembly voted to change our bylaws to declare love as the very foundation of our UU values and principles. And our seventh principle affirms that there is an interdependent web of life that connects all that is. And while we generally just use that principle as the basis for our care of the earth and all its creatures, that web includes all human beings as well. The principle implies that we are never completely disconnected from anyone, including the people who are spreading hatred and fear and violence. I believe this is the struggle which our faith tradition asks us to confront and engage with deeply. I found it ironic to read various postings from my Facebook friends this morning about the sudden death of Senator Lindsey Graham. 3 hours before I'm to speak to you on anger, I'm reading some of my UU friends speaking about not rejoicing in any human being's death, and several of my non-UU progressive friends celebrating his death. Some of them wrote, yeah, the witch is dead. And I can't decide which one to click the heart icon on. I found myself in a similar dilemma 15 years ago, really a more serious dilemma, on the night that Osama bin Laden was killed. And I'm really not equating, Lindsey Graham with Osama bin Laden yet. I received a phone call from my grandson, Josh, who was probably about 13 then. He's 28 now. Grandma, he said, this is a good thing, right, that Osama bin Laden is dead? I have a feeling he asked his mother first, and she said, why don't you call Grandma Ann? It wasn't the first time she'd done that. I stammered. Did I really want to tell him that the killing of another human being was a good thing? As I pondered how to answer his question, my television was showing news footage of people around America dancing in the streets, filled with glee at the death of our enemy. They seemed to be experiencing no moral conflict whatsoever. But I felt completely inadequate to the task my innocent grandson was handing to me. So all I could do was be honest with him, to admit that part of me was relieved that this man who had caused so much death was no longer a threat, but that I could never fully celebrate the taking of another human life. I was grateful the next day to receive some reflections from a friend's daughter, who was at the time the DRE of one of our congregations. In her newsletter column, she shared her struggle as she'd attempted to explain to her young son the events of the night before and people's ecstatic response to it. She talked to him about a monster that lives inside us all, that sometimes can fill our heart with anger and hatred and make us glad when someone who frightens us is killed. But she also reminded him that our UU principles teach us that it's better to fill our hearts with love and compassion so that there will be less room for that monster of hate and fear. And we do this, she said, by practicing acts of kindness. Then our heart can turn from fear and hatred to love and joy. Nice answer. Still, I'm hoping my grandson doesn't call me with the same question following Lindsey Graham's death. But just as we are called to live our first and seventh UU principles by acknowledging our connection to all beings on this earth, so too do we need to practice our third principle by accepting ourselves with all our confusing feelings and behaviors. We need to practice compassion towards both of our inner wolves, knowing that to experience anger, outrage, hurt, fear is all part of being human. Perhaps the problem isn't that we have these two different parts of ourselves. Perhaps it's that we misuse or misunderstand the anger. After all, is it not true that often it's our anger that compels us to move out of our complacency into actions for good? to allow what's called a holy rage to guide us. Our movements of resistance to oppression are movements of both anger at injustice and of fierce love for justice. Our wolves of anger have much to learn from our wolves of compassion, but so too do our wolves of compassion have much to learn from our wolves of anger. They are both a part of us, and sometimes they can work together to heal the brokenness in our world. Those who have done great harm need to be held accountable for their actions, but it only harms us when we focus our action on them as individuals rather than on their actions. We will be able to create more justice and more joy when we act from a place of love and generosity, when we allow our wolf of anger to work with our wolf of compassion. A number of years ago, I joined my sister-in-law for a candlelight vigil outside San Quentin, protesting an execution taking place that night. It was a surprisingly large group of anti-death penalty witnesses who had shown up for the vigil. There were speakers like the actor Mike Farrell, as well as a man whose daughter had been murdered, both advocating for the abolition of the death penalty. But not everyone there that night shared our views. We were also joined by a large group of hecklers who were becoming increasingly drunk and boisterous as the night wore on. When midnight struck, we were asked by the vigil organizers to stand in silence and hold in our hearts not only the man being executed, but also his victims and their loved ones. But the hecklers began applauding the execution and whistling and mocking those of us standing in silent witness. Finally, someone began to lead us in singing, "We Shall Overcome." But all I was overcome with was disdain for the hecklers. I began singing louder and louder, not with love in my voice, but with rage. "We shall overcome! We shall overcome!" Tears streamed down my face, not tears of love or compassion, but tears of utter hatred. Suddenly, from behind me, I heard an Episcopal priest begin to softly pray. He prayed for the man who was at that moment dying at the hands of our state. He prayed for the man's victims whose lives had been so brutally stolen from them. He prayed for all of us seeking an end to violence. And he prayed for our hecklers, that they might find peace and love. In that moment, I experienced the true meaning of Jesus' lessons of compassion, even for our enemies. I witnessed the gentle wolf of love and generosity being fed, and the wolf of anger and vengeance being embraced with tender understanding. And it calmed me. It brought me peace. If I want to stop feeding my wolf of anger, I need to turn off the TV news at least for a few hours each day. If I want to stop feeding my wolf of anger, I need to stop reading some of the comments on Nextdoor.com, which seem to always be condemning the immigrants, homeless, and my political party for crime in their area. If I want to feed the wolf of love and joy instead, I need to be involved in ensuring that our democracy continues to protect the marginalized among us. I can feed the wolf of love by participating in acts of kindness and justice. And I can feed the wolf of love by listening to more music and spending time with people that not only share my values, but also make me laugh. Because both wolves live within me. They live within each of us and need to be fed with love and understanding and forgiveness. That is what I pray for us all, the peace of understanding, of forgiveness, of loving kindness towards ourselves and all who live upon this earth. In this way will we heal our broken nation. In this way will we heal our hurting souls. Amen. And now I invite you to stand as you are willing and able and join in singing our closing hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
And now I invite you to take the hand or shoulder of someone next to you or close to you. The flames from our chalice and our candles are extinguished. We carry their light with us. May the light from our community fill our lives with beauty, hope, compassion, and laughter. Let us go now in peace with a passion for love and justice. Shalom, salam, namaste, blessed be. Alleluia.
Thanks, choir. Beautiful work this morning. Yay.